Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be filming my Bratz Playset collection video. This was really requested for a long time on my channel, but I'm going to show you all of the different vehicles, cases, playsets, etc. for my Bratz dolls. This is just for regular Bratz. I have my little Bratz playsets featured with my little Bratz dolls if you want to see those, and I don't really have much for kids and babies that's worth showing. So I do have detailed pictures of these on my Flickr if you want to see the pieces they came with and you want to know about the different features specifically, stuff like that. I have a whole album just for Bratz Playsets and fashion packs, so I'll link that below. And I do have a few chairs and things, random playsets that aren't featured here because they're not really worth showing. So if you want to see what those look like I have the Pretty and Punk Cafe chairs and things. Unlike with my Barbie dolls, I don't really have as many Bratz playsets as you might think, and the reason for that is simply because when I got into Bratz dolls as a kid, they were very expensive because they were very good quality, so the prices were therefore much higher than Barbie playsets, which could be expensive but also could be as cheap as $10 or $15. So my dad didn't really buy me many Bratz playsets back then. So I only have a few pieces from my childhood that I got over the span of a few years, and then the rest of it's all just things that I found at the flea market, but unfortunately I don't find Bratz stuff as often at the flea market as Barbie stuff. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sorry it took so long to upload, and if my hands look funny at all in this video, I'm having a really bad flare-up right now of my Raynaud's because of the time of year it is and stress and things, so if they look red, purple, and puffy, that's why. And yeah, I made a bunch of Bratz dolls really unhappy because I had to kick them off of their cars and things for this video, so I hope you enjoy because they're not very happy. See what I mean? Very unhappy Bratz dolls. Very empty dollhouse. Very unhappy Bratz dolls. Generally speaking, I'm not one to collect doll cases. I was never really into the vinyl Barbie cases because they smelled weird and they weren't very practical for storage. But I found the Bratz cases work really well. When I had less doll clothes, I used to store them in these cases. And when I was a kid, I would use my childhood case all the time. So they're very durable, and they each come with removable slides that hold the clothes. I have pictures of those. So this is the original fashion organizer from 2002, I want to say, and it has the strutted dolls on the front here. I have two of these actually. I only brought one up for the video, but you can see it has fringe. My first one I bought for a few dollars by itself because I really wanted it, and at the time I was using it. But then another one I bought later on because it had a bunch of clothes inside, so that's why I have two. This is one of the most special pieces in my collection. This is my childhood Bratz case. You can see here it has country names on it. So my dad bought this for me the day I had 3 teeth pulled because I had braces when I was 12 years old, and they had to pull out my baby teeth that were left over before they could give me the braces. And he felt really bad for me because, I had drool and blood coming out of my mouth. So he took me to Walmart and he bought me this case and my Jammin' and Jamaica Notley doll. And I use this all the time. I used to take my Bratz dolls with me wherever I went, in the car and stuff. And when I was a kid, I had 18 Bratz dolls. So they could all pretty much fit in here at some point. And I used to do their hair. I'd have it open on my lap in the car, and I'd be doing their hair. And I just have this one really specific memory of being in the car with my dad, and I had this case open and I was doing Formal Funk Nevra's hair, and my dad looked at me and he said, "Oh, you really love your Bratz dolls, don't you?" And I'll never forget that moment, and I always think of that when I look at this case. So I would never part with this. And then this really cool one that has Dana on it is from, I think, 2004. And I got this at a charity store, a secondhand place kind of thing, for a few dollars. It's missing one of its slides, but I really like the denim look of it. And it even has pockets. And then this one here I got on Craigslist. It was part of a bigger lot, Craigslist 3, that was mostly boxed Bratz dolls. I've opened them all. I don't keep dolls boxed, but I got this case here, and it's really cool because it's a hard hat style case, and I used to keep my little Bratz in here before I had clothes for them to wear on display. And then over here, these are both from the Funky funky fashion furniture collection. So this is the Chill Out Lounge. If you watch my treasure hunts regularly, then you will have seen this. I got this for $2 at the flea market, at the Salvation Army last year, and I saw it in the toy section and I recognized it right away, and I got really excited because I always wanted more of these play sets as a kid. It was missing this leg here, so the way I fixed it is I took a dowel, measured it to the right size, and then painted it silver to match, and this is on my display all the time. It works really great on my like little sleepover themed shelf. And then this is the beauty bed. This is actually the second Bratz thing I ever owned, and these are the pillows that came with it. This is a little Bratz pillow. And this is also always on my display, and one of my most special dolls, Slumber Party Sasha, sits on here. Basically, I got my first Bratz doll, Express It Yaz, in the fall of 2002, and I didn't have like any clothes for her except the spare outfit she came with. So Dad let me buy this one day, and the reason I wanted this was because it came with pink slippers that had like white socks so they'd match her feet, and they didn't have bare Bratz feet back then. Those didn't come out until the Sun-Kissed Summer line, and I really wanted her to have like bed shoes because she used to wear her boots to bed because, you know, Bratz don't have feet. So that's really why I picked out this bed, I think. And then this bad boy here, this is the Stylin Salon and Spa. So this one came with Fiona. I have to say that this is probably my most played with Bratz playset of them all. I had this growing up. My dad let me get this for my 12th birthday. I remember picking it out at Kmart. And this is the one that came with like the Fiona in the white robe, but there's another version that came with Fiona in the green robe. It's like a yellow spa. I like the colors of that one better, but this is the one that they had when I picked mine out. And it has like this really cute spa thing, and you can actually put water in it, and I think it makes bubbles. And it has like a treadmill. It has a nail station. These are all like coated with like a felty fabric, a velvety fabric, which is really nice. There's like a little coat hook. And then it also came in these drawers. It had makeup. You can see where the makeup was. Gross story, I didn't get rid of this makeup until like 2011 when I was going through my doll stuff. I used to use that makeup all the time on my Bratz dolls and on my Mary-Kate and Ashley dolls because I'd use them in the spa too. So they had like very ancient makeup on them. I want to say it was water-based makeup, not oil makeup, because it didn't hurt my dolls at all. And it came with like little lip gloss things too, but obviously I got rid of them because that's disgusting. And the windows do open. And then it has a cafe back here, and these stools actually adjust in height, which is really nice. And I'm missing one of the little table things here, which is sad, but I have all the pieces. It also has a star thing that goes over it. Oops. It's in my container in the other room. I forgot to put it on. But I'll put a picture of what it looks like here. So this is one of my favorite pieces in my whole collection. I would never part with this. I really, really love it. It looks a little bit haggard in its old age, but... And these are the 2002 spa chairs. I happen to get like several of these in different lots over the years at flea markets. This is another one of my childhood things. So I got this, I want to say I had this sometime after Christmas 2002. I had it definitely before the spa. And I love hair gimmick related things when it comes to dolls, if you didn't know. And I loved the pieces that came with this, and I loved how this actually could pump water. You can see like there's this knob thing here, and it has a spout. And the cool thing about this, other than the pieces, is that every like morning before I went to school, I had this like ritual thing. It was probably not every single morning, but it was a few times a week. I had this ritual when I was by myself waiting for the bus. I would wash my doll's hair in this because I was like a little neatnik back then. And what I would do, so there wouldn't be like shampoo in here, is I would wash them in the bathroom sink, and then I would rinse them out, and then I'd extra rinse them in this because I was afraid that like the soap would mold in there. So my Bratz dolls got like weekly cleanings. I loved this thing. I can just picture 12-year-old Shelly sitting down playing with this in the living room floor, and I have a very specific memory of like school getting called off one morning when I was playing with this. I really love it, and the drawers do open. That's a nice thing about like Bratz furniture, is like most of the time all the drawers open. And then over here, this is the Formal Funk Super Stylin Runway Disco. I had to put it in the middle of the room because it's so big. Now someone had asked me if I could put batteries in this and show you how it worked, and I do have batteries in it right now. They're probably not the strongest batteries, but I will show you. That's why Jade and Cameron are out here. But I got this for Christmas 2003, and the story behind this was my dad surprised me with this set, and I hadn't asked for it or anything. It wasn't even something I really paid much attention to in the store. He asked me to get something out of the car trunk before Christmas, and I saw the box for this in the car trunk. I always found my Christmas gifts in the car trunk, and I was so excited because I won a Nevra that came with this. I named her Nevada. You guys have seen her in one of my collection videos. It was just so cool that Dad brought me this really expensive playset. I totally wasn't expecting it, and I love how Yaz has this like really big picture right here. It has like these speakers, and if you're wondering why Bratz dolls have like holes on the bottom of their shoes, it's because of these pegboards here. They reused this this mold for this dance floor multiple times over the years, so that's why all of their shoes have little holes. And if their shoes don't have holes in them, it's because they were made before this play set. And then around the back side here, you can see why I needed to set this up in the middle of the room. This is like the dressing room and bar area, so it's got this like really cool little mirror and a place to put all the makeup. It has a clothing rack that Colleen uses all the time in photos. It has this cool bar, and you can see like it has a picture of the girls. These stools are also adjustable. It has a director's chair, and then this is the dressing room, which is my favorite part, and it has like a mirror in there, and it also has like a storage drawer. And then this is the cord that hooks up into the audio jack here, so you can like plug in an MP3 player or an iPod. I've actually plugged in my iPod to this before, and it also like lights up and stuff, which I'll show you. It has like these removable stairs. It's a really heavy play set. This base here is super heavy. And it's pretty complicated to store because of all the pieces that break apart. The only thing is these top panels don't stay on very well. See, my dad used to have them taped down, so you can see mine's kind of discolored over here and on the panel, which is a little sad. It must have happened in more recent years because it wasn't like that when I was a kid, but it still works and I love it anyways. So you take these pegs out and then you line them up with the holes in their shoes. And you make sure they're pressed down really good, and then you put this little peg into the track here, like so. And you can use this on newer Bratz dolls. Like the two I'm using here are Cameron's from 2010, and Boutique Jade here is from 2012. So the older dolls have better stability just because their shoes are bigger. So the reason why I have chosen Cameron and Jade for this demonstration is actually because a long time ago on my very old Flickr account, I had a like short 30-second video of how this worked, and I had used these two dolls and then Formal Funk Nevra and Dylan to show how like the new dolls could use this runway too and how they compared to the old dolls. And it was one of my favorite like things on my old Flickr because I had like music playing out of it. When Jade rounded the corner, she fell over because she wasn't stable enough on this track, and then Cameron came by and pushed her off the rest of the way, and it was just really funny. So I'll show you how it works. So you can see the batteries are dead and Jade fell. These batteries are old, so it can usually go a little faster. I don't keep batteries in this if you're wondering, but you can see they kind of like, when they get to this part of the track, they spin. But Cameron has a pretty good mobility, whereas Jade had none. See, she can't make the turn. And there's Cameron. So that's how this works. The lights do still light up, but my batteries are too old, so it's not doing anything, but they'll light up like in here. And then we have, last but not least, all of my different vehicles. So this is the Flashback Fifa Retro Ride. This is one of my favorite pieces in my collection, and I got this as an adult. So I got this in the fall of 2015. A guy at my flea market had this with a bunch of Bratz dolls. You can actually see the haul photo on my Flickr. And he wanted a lot of money for it. He wanted $100 for this bus and then all the dolls. And it wasn't a bad deal considering how much this retailed for, its condition, and the condition of the dolls who were all like new and all like the extras they came with. But I didn't really want to pay that, so he ended up letting me have it for $75, I think, which is probably the most I've ever spent on like a lot of dolls at the flea market. I usually never spend like even more than $20, but I love Bratz, and I had to get this because I had seen it at the flea market a few years before, but someone had already bought it and I was really, really upset. So this is one of the most high quality pieces of doll furniture I have ever seen. Like, you're not gonna get much better than the quality of this. So it all folds up. I'll put a picture in here. This is kind of like their dance floor up here. And you can see this is like the cockpit. It actually has cup holders you can use and like little compartments. I mean, look at the details. And it does like work. It plays like the radio and the lights. I've never put batteries in mine, so I don't know if it actually works. And then likewise, you can see like these drawers open and stuff. They actually hold things, which is cool. And the cabinets below the vanity. I hate like fake drawers on doll stuff, so this is really cool. And then it has this bar here that's like the fold down window. And it has like little shelves and 4 stools, and this is like the door to the bus. And it has a jacuzzi with a really awesome flat screen TV. And it has a staircase. And it came with a ton of stuff. So this is just a really, really cool playset. I definitely have no regrets about buying that lot because it's just so awesome and it's so much fun to use for photos, and I would have played with this all the time as a kid because it's just so cool. And it's really beautiful. It's really heavy, so I have to be really careful where I store it. So then we have my Wild Wild West Stagecoach. I have the 2005 version, but they also made one in 2006. Mine is missing the horse that came with it and also like little harness things. You can see that there are some broken things on here. This is one of my favorite pieces in my collection because this was actually a gift. So my dad's best friend Jimmy found this in the trash, I want to say. And he knew it must be doll-sized. So he put it aside for me and Colleen, and when we were over at his house one day, he gave it to us, and I thought it looked familiar, and it was really heavy and really great quality, and then I saw that it said MGA on the bottom, and I knew right away what it must be. I love this thing. I used to have a lot of cute pictures of it on my old Flickr with my Wild Wild West dolls. It's super, super sweet. I wish I could like fit it on display somewhere, but I can't right now. And it's very like hard wearing, and it has all these really beautiful details, and the dolls look so cute sitting inside it. So I have 2 of the 2002 FM Cruisers. You can tell this one is really beat up. This one has flames on the side, and this one does not. They re-released the FM Cruisers over a span of many years. Some of them were sold with dolls, some of them weren't. So the battery compartments are in the trunk here, but you can put stuff in the trunk too if you wanted. And this guy is missing its seats, and it's missing some of its mirrors, and it's cracked. This was my first one. I got it for $4 at the flea market in 2012. I always wanted the FM Cruiser when it came out. I remember this being advertised in the Christmas 2002 Toys R Us catalog with Express It Megan, and that made me want Megan and the car. So I had to get this when I found it, and I consider this my Punks Eatin' Dolls car. It's made appearances in like our As Told by Dolly's video we have. I just love this thing. I know it's beat up, but I love it. But I had to get the nicer one when I saw it. So that one was like $4. This one was $6. But it was like brand new. The guy who sold it to me said it was his sister's, and she took really good care of her stuff. And you can see it has these like velvety seats, and it has real working seat belts, and not like those plastic ones that come with Barbie cars, but they're actually like fabric, and they have little mini clips. And these both play music, and they light up. You can see like how complicated the interior is. It has like a realistic little stick shift, and it has cup holders. I mean, this is one of the most detailed doll cars I've ever seen. It's really beautiful. And speaking of their detail, this is my favorite Bratz furniture item in my whole collection. I'm gonna try not to cry when I talk about this. So my dad bought this for me at the flea market the last year he was alive, so it was the summer of 2011. Now, my dad loved collecting toy trucks. If you watched our house tour, then you would have seen the toy trucks of his we have still. When he saw this at the flea market, he said it was such good quality that he was going to buy it for himself. He didn't realize it was made for dolls because he was so distracted by the quality, he didn't even notice the stickers. And then he saw that it said Bratz, and he knew that he'd have to let me have it. So we had this game with this car that my dad would take it. He'd take it off my display, and he would go and put it in his cabinet with his toy trucks, and then he'd like come in the room with a big grin on his face, and he'd ask me to look at his toy truck display, and I'd go in there, and I'd see my car in his cabinet. So we ended up getting this for $2, which was a really good deal because the doors and the seats were out, so my dad managed to put it together, and it's really, really heavy. And again, it also, like, this is the battery compartment. It's taped down because it doesn't stay closed right, but it's really beautiful, and it was my very first playset item I got for Bratz as an adult. It was my very first Bratz car, and I just have that memory of like me and Dad's little game with this, so I love it. And my rock dolls, who were my last Christmas gift from him, currently use this on display. And then this here is the 2010 FM Cruiser, so it's like the same kind of concept as that, but you can see it is a little bit cheaper on the inside. It doesn't have fabric seats, but its interior still does have like those details, like the cup holders and things. This is also in one of my treasure hunt videos. I got this at the Salvation Army for a few dollars, and its mirror is a little janky. I can't like get it to stay down, but other than that, it's in really nice shape. And I remember seeing this in the stores on sale when I got back into dolls in 2011, and I always really wanted it. I love the color of it, and I use it on display with my party dolls on top of my dollhouse. So all of the cars, all of these three are on display. That one is not, just because it's so gutted and I don't really have room for it, but that one gets used more in like photo shoots and stuff. So I really, really love my cars. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and seeing all of my Bratz playsets and learning some of the stories behind them. If you want to see pictures of these up close and like the different angles, or if you want to see what they came with, check out my Flickr. There's not a lot written on these things right now on my Flickr because I haven't gone through that album. But if you just want like the reference photos and things, feel free to check that out. Until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.